Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. There were some really interesting posts over the last few days with CIG's stance on griefing and stream sniping. There was a good post on what alpha and beta phases mean for Star Citizen from the point of view of a game developer, and there was a few other little bits like the Crusader portfolio looking at potentially a Crusader carrier in the future, well, the past. We'll talk about it in a second. So, Excessive Griefing and Stream Sniping is the title of a Spectrum post from CIG. Hi everyone, we've recently received a lot of reports detailing excessive griefing and would like to take a moment to openly address the feedback and share our stance. For a majority of these matters, a PvP solution is preferable. Frequently, these scenarios are reported to us. We encourage those who feel they're being targeted to rally with their friends and orgs and attempt to fight back. We're not here to protect players from aggressors, pirates and PvPers. A big part of Star Citizen is about that dichotomy, that epic clash that occurs when opposing forces meet and rally others to their cause. The wars at Jumptown were a prime example of exciting emergent gameplay that can blossom when a lawful player comes face to face with an outlaw. However, there is a line that is occasionally crossed where players are going outside the bounds of immersing themselves as a pirate and PvPer. Some users are going out of their way to leverage live streams and other mediums to excessively grief. In many cases, it's no longer about enjoying the game, but rather disrupting it. Stream sniping, pad ramming, firing into armistice zones, or utilising various exploits to grief others. These are just a few examples of excessive griefing, which we do not tolerate. If you find yourselves on the receiving end of this, we are more than happy to investigate, and in cases where it is warranted, we will absolutely intervene. Simply reach out to us through our support page, there's a link which I'll chuck down below, and make sure to provide us as much information as possible. Screenshots and video always helps. In addition to better monitor and prevent excessive griefing, we're also exploring a number of in-game changes that should help considerably. More info on that later. And of course, in the future, the law system will also play a stronger role in creating consequences for unlawful players. In the meantime, and all the time, take the sage advice of two wise individuals who once posited that we should all be excellent to each other and party on whenever possible. So I have a hot take on this, and I'm really happy that Xylo and CIG have made that statement, because it's, for the most part, pretty true and pretty reasonable. I don't currently stream much Star Citizen live gameplay at the moment. My medium is mostly news and videos. I do occasionally sort of gameplay stream, but I haven't been in a position where stream sniping's really that relevant to me. However, I have like a dozen accounts for the game, so people don't know if it's me when I'm trying to film or do something in game. When I'm streaming, people turning up are content for me, whether they be idiots or pad rammers or, yeah, I suppose if they're exploiting something or repeatedly pad ramming me or literally just trying to ruin an event any way they can, then that's annoying at the very least. And we do, for the most part, need ways of dealing with that. And we're going to with the fines and law systems. We need ways of dealing with it in-game, really. Naughty players are emboldened by the fact there's no risk to a lot of their bad behaviour or blatant piracy out in the open around sort of like major landing zones. The game is, however, young and, dare I say it, alpha to really have a conversation at length about these systems, because CIG are implementing stuff to deal with these unwanted behaviours that will be dealt with in-game with their law system, with various other systems, with fines, all that sort of stuff. Stream sniping, however, will be a thing. If you're going to stream, that information is free for other players to use as they will. If you're showing where your base is, if you're showing your trade routes and stuff, you're going to have pirates turning up to wreck your day, to try and profit from you. That in itself is not griefing. If someone repeatedly pad rams me and is shouting constant abuse in my chat, I would probably try and sneak away somehow or move server and ban that person in my chat. I can moderate that. If they are spamming in Star Citizen, the in-game chat, I might screenshot that and report it if it was really bad abuse. I mean, it would have to be pretty bad and not, you know... I grew up in the 90s with gamers on, like, Xbox and stuff, and the 2000s with gamers on Xbox. That, I mean, they're monsters. Other things I'd do is outlast them, I suspect. If it's a pad rammer, I'd probably have more ships than them. Or I'd just change account and not show my name. Not everyone has that privilege, and obviously not an ideal solution to something that, you know, I shouldn't have to deal with, but I understand that if I stream, there's going to be stream snipers. And if I stream, that information is now public, and they can use that how they will to better get my money, to take my hard-earned UECs. I thought I'd share that so you could get into my headspace. I'd rather solve an issue in-game or make it part of my content than report it personally. But I haven't really been targeted, so there's that to consider as well. What I don't want is people assuming that every time they are killed that it's a griefer or a stream sniper or a scammer. A lot of the time it's going to be accidental or derpy. I am terrible for accusing people in Apex Legends of being cheaters. I mean, some certainly are, especially in Apex. But the frequency that I accuse them, there's certainly not that many. There was a really nice post by Matt Coville on Reddit, what alpha means and what beta means. Hey citizens, I'm a game developer who's been a designer on a couple of AAA titles, and I see the following exchange happening almost daily here. Everything in this game sucks. Yes, because it's not a game yet, it's an alpha. That's the same excuse I always get. I thought it might be fruitful to talk a little bit about what alpha actually means, and then maybe a little about what we can expect from beta. First of all, different companies use these terms differently, and every team I've been on has, at one time or another, argued about what alpha and beta should mean. So this post may not strictly apply to Star Citizen, but based on what I've seen and read over the last 4 months, I think it's basically correct. Alpha is both a period of time and a goal. This gets confusing even internally sometimes. Right now we are in the alpha, but the game is not at alpha yet. Some companies only use alpha to mean a period of time and not a goal, or vice versa. The goal of an alpha is to get the game feature complete. You make a list of everything you expect the player to be able to do in the final game, everything. This includes things like move, look around, open doors, buy a weapon, switch weapons, fire, reload, take off, land, take a mission from an NPC, complete a mission, get paid. A feature is just a building block. When all features are complete, the game is not done, it's not really even begun. All you've done is built all the tools you're going to use to make the game. It's a long list, but the good news is some of those things on the list you can check off right away, because the engine has done the work for you. But some things, like core gameplay loops, are very complex lists, which include lists inside them and are very design intensive, require a lot of code support, custom UI, animations, tens of thousands of man-hours of work. This is the state we're in now. They're literally going down a list of features and checking them off when they're done, but those features are not content. In the finished game, you might be able to customize the paint job of every ship. Right now, only one. Having successfully implemented ship customization for one ship, they can check that off and move on. There is probably no plan to make more ships customizable anytime soon, because that's content. In other words, they developed all the tools they need to customize their ships. They proved them out with one ship, and having done that, they're done. That feature is at alpha. Ship customization is feature complete, or at least alpha feature complete. Now, they may decide, hey, we have some folks who are blocked because something they need to do, their jobs just doesn't work yet. Let's have them make more ships customizable. That's something they can decide to do, but that's sort of how it would work. Well, we can't make progress on X right now, so let's do more iterations of Y. Contracts work the same way. That's probably only going to be a handful of different contract templates in the finished game. Once they have one, go find this dude and shoot him, contract in and working, that template is done. That feature is at alpha. They can check it off. The finished game will probably have thousands of contracts, but the alpha won't. All they need to do for the alpha is show that they have all the tools necessary to make lots of contracts. That's why the game feels so shallow right now. They could probably take just the contract functionality they have right now and duplicate everything World of Warcraft had at launch, with the exception of like raids and instances, but the process, make tons of really cool quests, each with little variations and different rewards, hasn't even begun, because that's the beta. Alpha is working towards getting all the features in and working. Beta is use the game's features to make tons of content. Alpha is feature complete. Beta is content complete. That includes all the stuff we associate with a finished game. Factions, reputation, NPCs and contracts, quest chains, battlegrounds, and just about everything. What we're playing now isn't a game. Of course it sucks. All we have is like half of the tools. Then they have to use those tools to make the content. That is the game. Here's something that's not in alpha or the beta. Fun. You can reach alpha, check everything off, and the game's not fun. You can imagine salvage gameplay and then design it and then implement it, and it's not fun. And it may never be fun. There isn't a switch in CryEngine or Lumberyard for make it fun. No amount of money, time, or technology can make something fun. I've watched entire games, finished games you could play, including games built on Lumberyard that were never fun and were ultimately cancelled before release. Hundreds of man-years of work flushed down the toilet. Star Citizen still has years to go, and I guarantee you some of the things you were promised will never get there, because they couldn't figure out how to make it fun. But someday we will probably enter beta, and at that point we will see an explosion of content come online. Everything up until now has just been a trickle. Anyway, just one developer's point of view. Thanks for reading. I really loved that post, okay? There were so many hard truths there and a lot of insight, and I thought that was a good thing, a good opinion to share and discuss if people want to in the comments below. We all have different views on how we would like certain mechanics to be in game, and all our fantasies of a finished product are going to be very different from one another's. I'm enjoying the journey that is Star Citizen's development very much. I love the project, the devs, and the community, and I'm looking forward to something akin to a beta in a few years' time. Calling All Devs returns later this month. So they don't have exact dates yet, but we will start to see Calling All Devs again. I think it's going to be alternately with Star Citizen Live, but we'll have to wait and see. There was also a Crusader portfolio post on the Star Citizen RSI website going over details of the company in lore. It helps reinforce that Crusader ships are likely going to get more attention in 2020 beyond just the Mercury Star Runner. Obviously, the planet of Crusader actually being a gas giant that's going to be visitable properly in 2020 as well is a big part of that, and the landing zone there, Horizon, I forgot what it was called very briefly. They're big factors in them talking about Crusader more and more and more. However, I would optimistically hope to see the Hercules Starlifter and maybe the Genesis or Ares later this year as well. Probably the Starlifter and one of the others, potentially the Ares is what I am actually thinking. But there was also a little lore blurb talked about. In 2812, Crusader's first carrier, the Jupiter, rolled off the production lines. At first, it solely used the Jupiter to deliver its shuttles to other markets, but it wasn't long before word of the ship's solid craftsmanship got around and orders trickled in. Sales rose quickly after the first year and surpassed the company's production capacity. The Army even signed a new contract with the company to use its vehicle transports to move groundcraft to the front lines. So maybe a big carrier one day from Crusader. I mean, I like big ships, I cannot lie. No, I'm not going to sing, I'm so sorry. And that's it for this video. I'm interested to know what you think about what CIG said about griefing and stream sniping, and are you annoyed at Star Citizen's slow development, or are you enjoying the ride? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway for Star Citizen. This month we are giving away an Anvil Arrow Light Fighter and game package with that, so you can have access to Star Citizen if you don't already. All you got to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during the month of March. There are full details in the description below. I am a shill for a couple of companies, NordVPN and NordPass. If you are looking for a VPN or a password management system, I recommend you check them out. They've got many benefits over free services, and as I'm pretty security conscious, I love those kind of services. Also, there's Shadow. If you are thinking about getting a new gaming rig or upgrading your gaming PC for Star Citizen or whatever, then consider Shadow instead. It is a internet cloud-based subscription service like Stadia, like GeForce Now, but this one gives you access to a full Windows 10 environment which is fully customizable, and that is significantly better in my opinion, allowing you to do a lot more with it. Check out the links below for them or use the code BoredGamer for discount. Also, if you wish to support the channel further, there is Patreon, there's the YouTube join member button down below. That really helps. This is a community supported channel and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the support that I get. If you want to share these videos, if you want to comment, give feedback, whatever, that is also hugely appreciated. Thanks very much for watching, guys. You take care and I'll see you in the verse.